Hey everybody, I'm Cafe Kaz, and today we're going to be talking about Last Rider Krau. Y'all already hit me up this morning, and you were like, hey, Kaz, we need to know about your opinion for Last Rider Krau. I'm going to give it to you here live on twitch.tv/CafeKaz. You can catch us live every day except for Tuesday and Saturday at 2 p.m. EST. But anyway, this will be uploaded to the YouTube channel tonight, so you can catch it there as well. But when I saw this third skill, Last Rider Krau,
standing by,
I could not believe they did it to us.
Let's go, Siegfried.
We memed about it for so long, but I don't know if you caught that, chat. This right here is an AoE horse. Actually an AoE horse. Disgusting. I like the lore behind this kit and stuff like that. You know, he's cyborg, lost his memories, he's the last of his troop, all that good stuff. But I know y'all aren't here for the lore. You're wondering how he's going to work in RTA, how good he is. So we'll hop right into the skills. I like that he has crit chance imprint. Obviously, you're probably going to self-imprint for health. He has a lot of bulk in here, really good health, really good base defense. And you know what? I like the speed. You know, 100 base speed, it's not terrible, right? It's not like 89 Angelica base speed or anything like that. It's okay, right? He has a little bit of effect resist as well, if you want to spec into that. So really good tank stats all around. His third skill, mobile weapon Siegfried. So it actually is AoE horse, right? We're penetrating defense, obviously. Krau has ignored defense since the start of time. We got to get rid of all of that. So it cannot trigger a critical hit, and it gives immunity buff to the entire team. When I saw this skill, I was like, okay, so he's a knight that gives immunity and does true damage. So he's anti-bruiser, but he's also anti-CC, and he's anti-ML Tywin as well. I've been really annoyed with ML Tywin, so it's nice to have a unit that can kind of do it all inside of one kit. Now, this isn't as strong as the normal horse. When I saw people talking about this skill, they were complaining instantaneously, right? They were like, that's not even a lot of damage, okay? This has to ramp up to actually do something, but he uses horse, right? Wait, let me see the damage. Where's the damage? He uses horse in this picture here, and with 26k HP, he does about 5k damage to these people, right? And people were like, you know what, Kaz, that's not a lot of damage. And I was like, wait, hold on. Turn 1, unmitigated, 5k damage. How is that bad? Yeah. How dare he not kill everyone on the first turn? It's 5k damage for free that's going to ramp up as well. There's no Portrait of Saviors there. There's no bonus extra damage or anything like that. It's just 5k unmitigated. And I think the reality is if you're using this kind of a unit in RTA, he's going to continue to scale as he goes into Frenzy. This obviously has an attack scaling as well, so you gain more damage as you get into Frenzy, and the scaling actually goes up on the skill itself. So I want to see how high the damage can get when you go deep inside of Frenzy. Now, somebody said, how is this anti-ML Tywin? It's because it gives you immunity, right? The reason why ML Tywin is so good is because people have him at like 180 to 200 speed. After you've shaken off your immunity, Tywin can provoke and stun you. Okay, by the time you get to that second turn, he's already shitting on your team because he's got the Soul Burn S3. He can pop it off on your team. You're stunned and you're slowed. But the reality is that most ML Tywin teams aren't bringing strips into you. They don't have a way to really take off immunity. So that one-off ML Tywin is innately countered by a unit that is not debuff reliant. Okay, ML Krau doesn't have any debuffs inside of his kit. He's just straight damage. He also has mitigation from his skill 2 shield that we skipped over, and he gives himself speed buff with the skill 1. But we'll go over each skill individually. So when you put all of that together, you have a very flexible unit that's able to go up against a lot of the meta, and a lot of these bruiser comps want to go late into Frenzy. But now we have a hyperscaling third skill that can win inside of Frenzy versus these tank comps, right? That is going to be very hard to sustain against. When I was looking at his second skill, code 00, okay, after suffering an attack that targets all allies, decrease the caster's cooldown by 1 turn and grant a barrier to allies for 1 turn. Barrier strength increases proportional to the caster's max health. Barrier effect can only be activated once per turn. So, the thing is here, if you continue to take AoEs, it continues to reduce the cooldown. It's kind of like Dark Corvus continuing to reduce his cooldown or something like that. So he does have a longer cooldown on his skill 3. You can soul burn it here to decrease the skill cooldown. It'll be 6 turns. You can bring that to 4, and then you can also gain it back by taking AoE hits, right? So if he's going into any AoE damage, he's going to gain that shield for the team. Shield didn't look that big, still a shield. We'll take any extra damage mitigation, and then he can continue to tick down that passive. So he's literally a walking time bomb. I don't think that you need to soul burn the first skill 3. It's not like ML Tywin. It's not that serious. You have another way to reduce your cooldown by taking AoE hits. So you can just fire off this skill 3 as soon as the battle starts. Boom, get a free 5k damage for breathing. All you did was breathe. You get 5k damage, you get 2-turn immunity for your team, and then you start revving up, literally, on your motorcycle. Yeah, you could Asaria it as well. I feel like Asaria has found a really, really hard time to find a place in the meta, but with strong third skills like this, I think, yeah, she could be really, really good with Asaria as well. I mean, the Asaria Dark Corvus, right? But then this is going to allow you to continue to rev back up into your skill 3. And when I looked at his skill 1, it wasn't anything ridiculous, but it was 30% speed, right? Which means that you're going to go faster. 30% speed is a lot of speed when it comes to turn rotating and stuff like that. When I was thinking about how to build ML Krau, I was thinking like, I probably do like an ML haste scenario, but with more speed. So anywhere between like maybe 180 to 220 speed, 24 to 26k HP, and then fat defense. As much defense as I can fit in. And run this Krau so that he can rotate turns, continue to lap. This has HP scaling. You don't need crit rate. Don't even bother with that. Third skill can't crit anyway. It ignores defense. Just get this in here. You take any support with him, and he's going to put in a lot of work. It's not the craziest first skill, but again, he's not a debuff reliant unit, right? So which means he doesn't need effectiveness. I don't know if effect resist is going to be the play on him, because I think you want to rely on the immunity that his skill 3 gives anyway. Because when I think about control comps, right? And units that have strips and stuff like that, right? If you're stacking effect res, it means that you want to go against units that don't have effectiveness, right? If they don't have effectiveness, okay, then they can't hit you 100% of the time, right? With like that 150 effect res, anywhere from 0 to 50, they can't hit you, right? If you're going up against strippers, right, and a control comp run by yours truly, they're gonna have enough effectiveness to strip you anyway. You're never gonna get off your third skill. The immunity's not gonna matter anyway. It's literally useless. So then at that point, if you're going up against people that don't have effectiveness and they're not stripping you, then you keep immunity forever anyway, and you're perfectly happy. So, you know, I feel like it's not an effect res unit. I know that he does awaken into 18 effect res, and y'all can read me on that if you want, but I don't think it's the play, right? You stack effect res on this unit, what are you trying to stop? Yourself from getting stripped of immunity? By strippers that are already gonna have enough effectiveness to strip you? It just doesn't make sense, right? You might as well invest into the tank, get to the speed that you want so you can rotate turns, and get to the bulk that you need to stay alive. When I was thinking about artifacts, we talked about a lot of different things. I think Adamant's obviously always good. If you don't have enough Adamant Knights, I have enough Adamant Knights. I rarely run Knights anyway, so I don't want more than 2. I don't necessarily like Aureus because he's not the same as Krau where you want to get lower. He does have the HP pool for it, so if you do want to run Aureus, I think that'd be very good as well. But I'll personally be running Holy Sacrifice on him because I think it's like the ML Tywin situation where if you come back and get off that extra S3, you can just destroy people. Can you imagine? You waste all your debuffs, you Falconer Chloried him, you Rylet S3'd, you're throwing in all this damage, and you're trying to get this Krau down, and then he comes back. And he S3's again. Right? And that could just wipe the entire enemy team, right? It could be a game-ending S3. Now, I saw that you said Crown of Glory. I was gonna mention that right there. I think Crown of Glory is actually amazing on him. Unfortunately, I did not pull on the Tywin banner. Okay, chat, does anybody have Crown of Glory in there? Anybody have Crown of Glory? Not me. I don't have Crown of Glory, but I think it would be a great option, right? Because you're obviously taking him into some AoE. It synergizes really, really well with his passive. So thank you for mentioning that as well, though. Nope, nope, I don't. I got it. Hey, congratulations if you did get it. I think he's a viable option for holding Crown of Glory because you'll be stealing their souls, gaining a barrier, reducing your cooldown, all that good stuff, right? Got it from Covenant LUL. Feels good, man. But, I like this unit a lot. I am a big fan of Krau from the get-go, right? I don't play those kind of like tank stall comps in RTA, so you won't catch me with Krau, but I love his quotes, I love his style, I love the manly destruction of Krau.
I'll show you how I do things.
My boy came through on a motorcycle with more horsepower than ever before. You think I'm not going to pull for this unit? I will pull. I will pull harder than ever before for Krau. I stand for Krau. Krau is the most amazing unit in the game, and I will first pick him every single game. Now am I being serious about that? Kind of, right? I think that'll be a really viable unit in RTA, right? And I think it will be flexible into a lot of comps, not only for like, you know, bruiser comps, but like anti-bruiser. I think he'll be a good unit overall. I see a lot of people that are debating on what they want to pull. I'm personally going to be going for him. I pulled a little bit for Dark Corvus, but I don't think I'm going to keep pulling. I'm going to wait out for Krau, right? I'm going to test him out. Plus, this look gets me every time. Right, chat? But anyway, I'm waiting to see his multipliers, and I do want to see how that interaction goes as we get into Frenzy, how this skill 3 ends up revving up and stuff like that. But that's my initial thoughts and reactions. That's what I think about him. I think he's gonna be a great unit. Hey, everybody, go ahead and say goodbye to YouTube. Let me know what you think about Last Rider Krau. And as always, this has been Cafe Kaz, and thanks for watching. Also, ML Cigarette.